What you were saying about local communities and
yeah,
wondering about what you're seeing from companies that might be more sustainable and resilient. Is that a pattern that is bearing out?
Well, like I said, it's sure that as a cooperative for more than a century, it's really in our DNA to be close to communities. We're owned by members in different communities in Canada, in Quebec mainly, and Ontario. But I think the expectations are higher than ever. And that's why business leaders must be more, let's say, interconnected or aware about what's happening in the communities for many reasons. Yes, the impact on the environment, also the inclusion, diversity, like I said, youth. And now, and many employees more and more will ask from their employers and their business leaders, what are you doing for my local community? Yes, think big, but act locally. But I think more and more of our clients too are really asking us to be client-centric. The pandemic bring for us a moment of pause and reflection. And look, all the discussion we had around the globe regarding buy locally, how can we be more autonomous locally? The supply chain is a bit broken now because, it's so difficult to have products and international trades. Doesn't mean that we have to stop everything on the international point of view, but at least we will fight in the next few years by trying to have as much talent as we can, HR, our staff, our people, our employees, and they will ask us, what are you doing locally? Because I lived here, I lived there. What are you involved in the community? And it will help companies to be more resilient and sustainable, because you won't rely necessarily on activities that you're not that are not necessarily close to your let's say the places that you're working with, or where your staff is working with you. So I really feel that, and by being close to communities too, you're close to your clients. So you have a better understanding of their needs. You have a better understanding of what they want, what they expect from you. So that's why you're more resilient also and sustainable. You stay connected on the ground, and you have this feedback regularly by your clients, your investors, and your employees. And I really feel, from my perspective as a co-op, it has been really successful for us being so close to communities and rooted communities.
It goes back to the beginning of our conversation. We were talking about the pandemic. I think the working from home environment has put people a newfound perspective for their local communities in a way that they might not have had if they were working in Manhattan, for example. So that's, I think that's an emerging trend alongside that as well.
Well, Patrick, if I may, I think if there's one thing that we learned with the pandemic is our own well-being. Our own well-being depend of the well-being of our community, of the people who lived, our neighbors, our friends. If they are healthy, if our community is healthy, well, we will be healthy personally and as a company. So we can be a successful company when at the same time the health system is under pressure, the education system is under pressure. Something will collapse in a few years. So we have to get involved in these issues too.
Good. You just have a few minutes remaining. I just wanted to see if you could talk a little bit about, if we had a conversation 6-9 months from now, what are some of the emerging ESG trends that you're seeing develop? Are there any conversations that you're having with clients, things that you're going to be following in the weeks and months ahead that maybe you'd like to preview for us, the rest of us, to keep an eye out for?
Well, disclosure. Okay. How can we evolve? It's still an issue right now. which kind of information we will bring on the table. How is it possible that it's easier for investor, for clients, for employees to follow all these principles, all the measures that we're putting in place? Is it greenwashing? Is it real? Can we trust what you're doing on ESG? There's still a lot of discussion. It's not clear right now, and it's a real issue. And I think we must, I'm sure that hope in 6 months, probably in a year or two, but we're heading in the right direction and we'll fix this problem for many investors and many people. So we must continue to have this discussion. And I think accounting rule will help us, I'm sure, on that side. And the second topic is this discussion about disinvesting compared to staying at the table. There are still many discussion. What are we going to do with companies who don't want to change or they feel that they must continue operating like they are operating? What are we doing with them? Do we leave that to the governments, or do we build, I don't know, an extra fund to really help them? So this is other discussion that I feel in the next few months we will continue to have.
Good. Yeah, I mean, the disclosure one is something that we're watching closely here in the U.S. The Securities and Exchange Commission is working on these ESG disclosure rules. Do you have something similar to that in Quebec or Ontario? Or there?
There's discussion. Yeah, in Canada, there's discussion right now. Really important discussion with different governments and official, like I said, accounting rules. And I really feel that there's a group of sustainable finance that have been launched by the federal government to see what we should do in Canada. But at the same time, it's not a question of countries. I think the main goal is to have a worldwide system where you can control is a big word, but at least you can follow and be sure of when you invest your money in this project, in this country, or with this partner. And I think, yes, it's okay to have this discussion locally in each country, but we must go to another level. And in Canada, we have this discussion, but we want to have something that is more internationally connected. I think that's the big issue that we're facing in the next few months, not only in Canada, but in many countries.
And one quick follow-up question on this, because it comes up all the time in our reporting. I mean, do you find the voluntary disclosures that companies make now, are those adequate? Are there information that you find lacking?
Well, I think honestly, when we are right now, having a company who wants to give information on a voluntary basis, I think we won't say no to that.
Sure.
We should at least say yes, thanks, and can you work together to increase the quality, the volume, the quantity. At the same time, you have companies who will tell you, you know what, as much information as I can give. I don't want to have lawsuits in 3, 4, 5 years because this information wasn't as certain as I thought because it was linked with climate. So there's still discussion to have. But when you have a company who wants to disclosure, who wants to be honest and wants to give information, at least just work with this company. I think these international standards will help us so much, and we will bring more and more business leaders around the table on this issue.
Well, Guy, thank you very much for your time here. This has been an excellent conversation. I hope it was enlightening for our viewers. And would love to keep in touch on these topics and see where things are for the rest of this year and into 2022.
Well, Patrick, it was a real pleasure. Thank you. Merci beaucoup tout le monde. Ça a été un plaisir de m'adresser à vous et puis bonne continuation pour la conférence. Thank you, Patrick.